Prepare yourself for battle.
Alright, so you said Control O. Didn't work. Control 0? Nope, also didn't work. Alright, so for the Hunger Avoidance team, we have Bushin on Deckard Cain, MS Breakwood on Ariel, Chicken Nug on Zarya, Verve Shay on Li Ming, and Ninja Mouse on Malthael. Thanks, Ari. Arrow, rather. On the other team for Phoenix Rising Topaz, we have Tidally He on Varian, Michelin on Zeratul, Time on... I'm forgetting his name. Hanzo! And Zhao on Ana. We're seeing a lot of aggression on this bot lane already, which is pretty typical for this map. However, very quickly, I do want to look at these builds. I don't really see anything too atypical, especially considering this is a very interesting team composition, but Zarya does drop very quickly with that aggression. Lots of damage does come out on the Ariel, but Deckard keeps her alive with significant ease. However, we do see Phoenix Rising Topaz start moving in to their camp, picking it up for the increased bottom pressure, which is definitely fair due to the fact that they have already lost a tower in this bot lane. Another Zarya main tank composition. Is that what they're doing? I mean, I wasn't sure. I kind of figured. But still interesting and not what I typically see. We do see the attempted invade coming out from the left team. Not getting a whole lot of value here. Just kind of some added aggression. Now both teams will likely have some issues in the early game, but Varian is falling very quickly with the magic missiles attempting to finish the kill, and Li Ming does manage to get her resets thanks to the Zarya mine. Ana taking a lot of damage. Finally pops that D yet again to try and get out, but is burned down very quickly. I was questioning the enemy team draft, but I was actually questioning both drafts, but this seems to be working out very well for the left team. I'm still curious about the right team's draft, especially with how poorly it seems to be going so far. It's not really what I expected. Lots of aggression keeps going out onto the Zarya. She's losing a lot of health, but manages to stay fairly healthy, trying to dump in even more damage onto that bottom fort. Now with the Malthael double soaking, they can really afford to keep up a lot of aggression onto this bottom here. Taunt does go out on the Zarya, taking a lot of damage. The the biotic grenade does ensure Zarya cannot survive that. However, the left team's still trying to be aggressive onto this bottom point. To be fair, it is a 3v3 at this point, though Zeratul can show up whenever he wants to. Taunt does go out onto the Li Ming, and she falls to roughly half before teleporting out. Root does go out by the Deckard, not hitting anyone. A poke does come out from the Ariel to try and secure the capture. Malthael does go up on this top objective, unable to bully out the Zeratul, meaning that both the top objectives do go in favor of the right team. Meanwhile, this bottom objective seems handily secured by the left team. Unfortunately, that interrupt does make the job more difficult. The stun does come out from the Ariel. Varian just trying to block everything that comes his way, unable to parry for much longer as he runs out of mana. However, that Hanzo can poke for literal days if he wants to. But he doesn't want to. It's very risky to do so. So this is 36-32 in favor of the right team, which is interesting, seeing as the bottom point is already... the bottom fort, rather, is already almost killed. Stun does go out on the Hanzo. Lots of damage coming out onto the Aerial Taunt as well. Biotic Grenade makes sure that she cannot heal herself, nor can she receive heals. And she goes down. The Zarya desperately trying to peel as well as get out of the fight. Root does go out from the Deckard, not hitting anyone. And Zarya falls as well. And we see an invade coming out from the right team, which is absolutely the right call, if not a tad aggressive. Taunt does go out onto the Deckard, who's not gonna find anyone with that taunt, as it's just a taunt to stall, I'm assuming. Quick reminder for those of you who are new to this map, well, nothing is really going on right now. These forts can be taken... Sorry, Malthael does fall in the mid lane. But these forts can be taken as well as taken back. This map is unique in that regard, and each fort you have does increase the amount of damage that the objectives do. The boss always deals 4, and these camps deal 1 for every minion that goes across this line over here, meaning that these camps do get a fair amount of value if you're able to secure the lane for yourself. Speaking of secure, there's a lot of anchoring going around for this right objective. It does appear that Topaz is going to give both objectives in order to push out bot a little bit, but now they're rotating up to try and fight where they can. Topaz will receive 10s first, meaning that World Hunger Avoidance team desperately needs to try and get this channel, and they are not able to before the ultimates do come out, meaning that issues are coming out very quickly for World Hunger Avoidance, as evidenced by the fact that the Auriel does go down. The heal denial leads to the Zarya death as well, and lots of aggression goes out trying to push, trying to secure that last kill, as well as zone out enemies where possible. Deckard is losing a lot of health, but that Root should secure his health at least a little bit. Hanzo losing a lot of health due to the Li Ming, and no one does manage to get a kill there. However, the siege damage goes further in favor of the World Avoidance team. Or once again, what? Sorry. Both teams trying to mess with the other on these rotations, just trying to get a little bit ahead on XP. Phoenix Rising Topaz does have the XP lead, but the siege damage that World Hunger used to have in order to exchange for that is no longer there. Do see the taunt going out on the Ahri, as well as the Biotic Grenade, and the Sleep trying to secure her down, but not going to do so. Lots of healing coming out from the right side. Stun does go out on to the Varian. We see the clone joining into the fray. I forget what that's called. Gravity Lapse, right? Graviton Surge does try and secure extra kills, but is not going to. Auriel did resurrect the Zarya, trying to keep her alive. Taunt does go out, leading to her death, meaning that the resurrect was essentially more beneficial for the right team than it was for the left, which does sometimes happen. That is the risk you run when choosing resurrect. Now we do see this invade, and without a tank, World Hunger is not going to be able to contest that invade. However, they should be able to clear it with a Li Ming before it gets any value, but it might be a little risky. Zarya will be a little late to this objective, and there is no clone up for this objective, meaning that the left team does have the advantage when it comes to ultimate abilities coming out onto this objective, which neither team seems to really be focused on. Gravity Lapse does go out. Gravity Surge. Lapse is wrong person. Leading to the Ana going down. The Zeratul did go down in the mid lane. Deckard falls as well. Zarya losing a lot of health. Varian attempting to lock her down and is able to secure the kill. Now, you did see the Nano Boost going out on to the Hanzo earlier, which was where a lot of that damage did come out. You're here because the first character in Vanilla WoW had a randomized name of Shadonis. Well, it's a character that I made up, so I'm gonna sue you for copyright. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. It's whatever. Actually, it's kind of funny. I didn't know that anyone else even came up with the name, because I literally just pulled it out of my butt. But hey! So we do see the camp being picked up by the right team. That's fair. That's very fair. I'm pretty sure that people get randomized names that are other people's intellectual property all the time now. Like, I don't know what algorithms they use, but it's not a legitimate suing, I'm assuming. The taunt did go out, not able to secure anyone. Sleep goes out as well, trying to stall out that nano boost, and does so for about half of its duration, I'd imagine. Resets do come out with the Ana kill. Lots of damage comes out. Varian does not have the mana to survive this much longer. Hanzo clone is losing a lot of health, but he is just a clone and will not be worth any experience to kill. He is just a nuisance. A very powerful nuisance, but a nuisance nonetheless, and the clone is removed. More aggression coming out on this bot. I love how we see both teams focusing this bot lane so heavily. It's not something you commonly see in the higher tiers. It's a more advanced technique. And I'm not sure how the enemy draft is able to deal with this as well as they have so far, but with this fort going down, which should be any second, speaking of going down, there's the Ariel, who just resurrects herself from the dead. No harm done. This tower should be gone. Yeah, this should be the left team's tower for the entirety of this objective, meaning the only way to come in is through this tiny choke point. They are able to get that interrupt, which I wasn't thinking they were going to. Varian does get the nano boost. Graviton Surge does go out, as well as the Stay a While. Stun does go out onto the Varian, trying keeping that front line busy. Li Ming does fall in the middle of the team fight. Void Prison does lock down all three members of the enemy team, but Zeratul dies for it. The Biotic Grenade leads to Zarya's almost death. Well, lots of damage coming out on both sides. This fight is still very easily either team's win. Ana does go down, however, and there's not enough mana on that Varian to secure a victory for the right team. Meaning that this is another 5 damage channel coming out from the left team, meaning that through this single fight and this single fort take, the left team has secured the lead in this game. This map is very seesaw and very back and forth, which is why a lot of teams like picking it, especially going with late game compositions, which now that I'm starting to see it, it does seem like this main tank Zarya tactic is more of a late game composition. Now, I'm not sure if we'll see an invade here, but in my opinion, it would be a very good move, especially with the Ana just now coming up. But they do not manage to invade fast enough, and instead just clear up this camp for free. Meanwhile, Malthael is doing this double soak. I am curious how much XP he has. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. We do see this fight coming out yet again. More damage coming out from the right team, but I don't think either team is going to get a kill here. It does seem like Malthael is getting huge amounts of experience. Stay a While does go out, meaning that the left team does want to get out of this. Varian losing a lot of health. Varian Clone, rather, losing a lot of health. He does manage to go down. I think that is still a Ming reset, but I'm not 100% sure. The entirety of the left team is very low. The Root trying to secure the disengage, but the double kill simultaneously with that cleave going out on the Ariel and the Zarya will lead to now a triple kill, with Li Ming barely surviving through the fight. She's going to be using the teleports to try and get out, but is unable to, as she goes down as well. Meaning this bot fort will likely go into the hands of the right team, as well as all three objectives, as the entire enemy team is down for 20 seconds except for Malthael. Does look like instead of going for this fort, they want the triple altar, which will still secure their lead. As the damage does go out onto Malthael, if they can stagger this death, it will not be pleasant for the left team, and they do manage to stagger it out, securing the Topaz experience lead as well as core damage lead even further into their hands. This is a very awkward position if you are the left team at this point, as there's not really much they can do aside from just try and stall out. Lots of damage does go out onto the Zarya, as well as the Biotic Grenade, trying to secure her death, stay a while, trying to secure the disengage. Dragon Strike does go out, but is unneeded as Zeratul manages to secure the kill. Barely getting out with help of that Abbey top hat. And Varian is locked out onto the wrong side of this enemy fort. He just has to survive for the minions to arrive, and then he can leave. But it looks like he doesn't want to, as he is trying to zone out the enemy team. Lots of damage, Taunt rather, goes out onto the Li Ming, and lots of damage does repay him. Protected does go out to try and dodge the Disintegrate, but not much value coming out from either of those activations. We do see more damage coming out from the right team, which did manage to take this fort. This is 3 more possible core damage onto the enemy team, and that Dragon Strike seems to try and secure that. Now they just got to try and clear this wave. Meanwhile, the left team, all they have to do is kill 3. And 2 got through, 3rd one dies. That was not the clone. Lots of damage does go out, as well as the Void Prison. Is this a disengage? Does not look like it, as lots of damage comes out with the Dragon Strike onto the left team, leading to a quad kill at the hands of the Hanzo and the nano-boosted Zeratul. With this being a single altar phase, they will only get 5 more damage, but that means 5 damage left until they win the game. It also means that the left team is unable to get 20s by any means except for this Malthael, who has the waves pushed up a little too much for him to get the experience he needs. We do see this boss being picked up, meaning that it will now be 1 damage for victory, and this camp could easily secure the 1 damage that I was just talking about. So this is 5, this is 4, and this is 3. That means all the enemies have to do is stop one of these, but they somehow have to do it while they're all dead. Really difficult position. I'm not sure how, if you are the left team, you get here to block these camps and survive. Because all the enemy team needs to do is get one of these through, with that Dragon Strike is almost guaranteed, and that is game for Phoenix Rising Topaz. Does look like they're taking us to Valskaya Foundry, though.
Commence combat preparation.
Let's go into the in-game here. Pull up the talents. So, for World Hunger Avoidance team, we have Michaelan on Greymane. Did they change sides? They changed sides on me, didn't they? I thought time was on Topaz. Yeah, no, they switched teams. Okay. So, for World Hunger Avoidance team, which is swapped for some reason, we have Bushin on Deckard, Ninja Mouse on not Mal'Ganis. I'm forgetting his name. Vavia Shay on Hanzo, and Ms. Breakwood on Johanna, as well as Chicken Nug on the Diva. Also welcome Frozen Yak to the stream and the community. Glad to have you. For the side of Phoenix Rising Topaz, which is actually on the left for this game, we have Taiti on Ariel, Zahao on Ana, Time on Genji, Michaelan on Greymane, and I don't know who on Dahaka, but he just got killed in the bot lane. So we'll have to see in a moment. Either way, both teams are doing different 4-man rotations. Typically, the 4-man rotation is between top and mid, as opposed to bottom and mid. However, it does seem like the right team wants to steal this camp, which is why they are so aggressive. They are trying to stop the Genji's deflect and successfully do so. Lots of damage does go out onto the Hanzo, leading to the Hanzo's death. Ninja Mouse does fall as well, leading to an unsuccessful invade on the side of World Hunger Avoidance team. Lots of damage continues to go out onto the red team here, as well as the blue team, but no one on the blue team is falling, and D.Va as well as Baby D.Va do fall as well, leading to an invade as a response to the invade. Will be interesting to see the talents. Oh, is that the, No, I don't think so. Yeah, Justice is the Dahaka. I'm not sure who Tiny Kitty is. Anyway, the Genji does fall during this invade. I think the turret is somewhere on the left team. I actually don't know where the turret ended up. I missed that. Either way, Michaelin makes it out with double digits health as Greymane. Very, very difficult to survive there. I'm honestly not sure how he did it. But hey, we'll see. So the first objective is coming up. Let's zoom out to see what both teams are doing. It looks like the blue team does want to pick up their own turret. The turret did get placed in the... No, the turret's not showing up here. Where did the turret end up? Somehow I missed that. Lots of damage does go out onto the Hanzo. Hanzo does use his jump over the wall to get out, and lots of damage does come back out from the Mephisto, that's his name, onto the enemy team, leading to the Ariel death and the Genji time barely getting out. Lots of damage does go out onto the Ana, but is unsuccessful to lead to the kill. Let's hop over to the stats real quick while I take a drink. Yeah, I'm not sure who Tiny Kitty is. So it does look like the left team is going to try and contest this objective. Lots of damage does come out onto them as they try and walk in on this point, forcing them to disengage, but D.Va is also losing a lot of health and does lose her mech. Mephisto as well goes down, leading to an advantageous fight for the left team, but the root does shut down the chase, except for the fact that the Dahaka tongue does secure the Johanna kill, as well as the sleep dart in Baby D.Va does fall as well. I honestly didn't see that fight going that way. I was pretty sure that she's a Master Divas player and a streamer. Sarcastic as everything. Good to know. So I'm assuming that that's not her in-game name. I'm assuming that she's the Chicken Nug. I am curious what her build is then, if she's a Master Diva player. So there's the Rushdown and Fusion Generator. I'll have to send the build over to my friend who really enjoys playing D.Va. Mephisto does re-engage on this point with his teleport, trying to get as much damage as he can on the enemy team. Biotic Emitter does go down from the left team, leading to a lot of extra health and mana for them, as Greymane does end up on the opposite side of the enemy team and does lead to the Hanzo kill, and the Protector does fall in favor of the left team. Heal Denial does go out, but is unable to get much of anything, and there goes the Self-Destruct, trying to secure as much damage as she can on the Protector, and Ana manages to get inside without taking too much damage, as well as the Ariel. So there are currently no heals for the team who drafted double heals outside of the Protector. Genji does go down as he dove over to try and kill the D.Va mech, but he does successfully kill the D.Va mech. It does look like the left team is going to try and secure... okay. I see what you mean now. Okay. Yeah, I misunderstood what you were saying. I thought you were meaning that they were in this game. Doesn't look like the left team is going to get this front wall, which is normally the main goal of the first protector. It's also not going to lead to a fountain, but both the healers are going to manage to walk away. Basic attacks in mech mode against heroes lower the cooldown to defense matrix. That's interesting. Never thought about that. I guess the enemy team really doesn't have too many interrupts for defense matrix, so you're going to be able to get it on quite frequently. I don't know. I'm not entirely familiar with what my friend's build usually is. Another invade coming out from the left team, though. Lots of damage coming out. D.Va does pick up the turret, but it looks like she is going to drop with the Dahaka tongue as well as the Hanzo. I know, Shadow Slayer. Thank you very much for commenting on that. I keep debating on whether or not to fix it, but I guess there's a downtime here. I'll fix it now. But yeah, I messed up. I've been having tech issues all day. I just kind of figured that it fit with the theme. But it's easy enough to fix. So there we go. Justice and Zhao are on World Hunger's avoidance teams. So that's... Oh, so the teams are right. Okay, they just changed up members. I could have sworn Time was on the right team last game. Yeah, no, he was the Hanzo. Right? I'm not insane? Are there 2 times? Oh! That's why they messed me up. So it still was messed up. Just on the wrong game that I thought it was. Good to know. I'm not going crazy. So in that case, the score is different. So things are even more messed up than they were a second ago. Alright. I think everything's good now. D.Va did fall in the top lane, as well as World Hunger does get the fountain that they were trying to get. You're not wrong. I could very well still be going crazy. Now we do see the ultimates coming out, leading to the 2 healer kill, and the Greymane unable to get away with his double-digit health that he did earlier in the game, leading to at least an early objective victory for the World Hunger Avoidance team. But yeah, Frozen Yak, I am pretty sure I am going crazy. That today is just... Maybe I shouldn't do a second game. Nah, I'll do a second game. Ariel does go down after rezzing herself, I'd imagine. No, it's not there. It's not on cooldown. Not sure how she... I guess she just walked in? I'm not sure what I missed there. But hey. Dahaka is trying to get the soak to try and help the team fight. However, is getting bullied out of lane by the 2 enemy teams. Does look like World Hunger is going to try yet again to do an invade, but the enemy team is well aware of this. And this could easily be a 4v4, and the self-destruct does go down, and the tongue on the self-destruct makes things very difficult. The sleep does secure the Ana death, and Genji does manage to walk away. Both teams desperately want this point, and the turret is grabbed by the right team. Ariel does complete her level 4 quest, however. I'm not sure she's going to be able to walk out of this, though. And did look like she used her resurrect, because it was on cooldown there. And now a mirrored invade. Both teams just love the enemy camp so much, don't they? We do see a heavy item advantage in favor of the right team, though, which will make these objectives harder and harder to fight over, especially considering this top objective should be able to be won without the use of any of the items, unless Dahaka is able to contest until Ariel can get here, which it looks like he's able to. Both teams are positioned very heavily for this. Genji did go in, only dumping moderate amounts of damage onto the enemy team. Greymane also going in, trying to get every little bit of aggression that he can. Johanna was pulled. The sleep does go out, landing on 3 people. Genji attempting to deflect out of the fight. The ultimate does come out from the Mephisto, securing a double kill and almost the Genji, and it follows in suit into a triple kill with the Ana, and the Dahaka just trying to walk out. Does grab the Diva, who does use the self-destruct to save her mech, or utilize her mech. I guess it's not really saving it, is it? And the second protector does go in favor of Phoenix Rising. Now I'm assuming, yeah, it looks like they're walking this bottom, especially since they already have taken the top wall. Maybe they push onto the fort. Adaptive. Don't understand the Diva taking the 13 talent over adaptive armor, especially when there's a Dahaka to feed off. I was curious about that too. What's this one again? Emergency shielding. I've seen this talent picked a few times, but I've never seen it get any value. It could be so that she tries to save her mech during the Dahaka pull. But yeah, I think you're right. I think adaptive armor would have been better. But who knows? I'm not a Diva player. So the mech does go down bot with only 24 seconds left. They try and burn this wall and try and secure the fountain, which they're unable to break the shields of yet. Lots of damage is going out on this mech. It is dropping down to 20% health with only 10 seconds remain. And sleep does go out onto 3 people, getting canceled early, leading to a very small sleep. I did see a Blessed Shield. I don't know who all it hit, but I did see the Blessed Shield go out. Diva does fall very quickly, the shield getting absolutely no value as it's broken just as fast as it goes up. The Ariel does use her energy for damage there, and the Greymane jumps past the wall, as does the Genji, securing the baby Diva kill, but at the cost of 2 of their own. This is 18 to 16, meaning that Phoenix Rising Topaz does have level lead. Seems like the right side is the favorable side in this series of 3, as in both cases the right side has had the level advantage for most of the game, and yet another invade. At least this one doesn't happen with everybody alive, like all the others that have happened in this game. They do use this turret immediately to push onto this bottom fort, trying to secure, or rather trying to remove, the retreat path for the enemy team, which they do successfully with no contest. World Hunger Avoidance team is attempting to fix the XP difference, but that takes a lot of work, especially with the waves in the position they are, and the enemy team grouped up the way they are. You really don't want to be picked off, especially not with the enemy team this close to 20. That kill could easily lead to a victory on the 3rd objective, even if you're up for it again. Does look like before 20 even comes up, Phoenix Rising Topaz did want the biotic emitter, but with it being scouted out, they don't really want to fight before 20. The sleep does go out to try and secure the kills, though. Ariel does go down, trying to use the resurrect to get back into the fight before it is too late. The mech does zone out the Ana. The Deckard does fall as well, though, as does the Genji. Both teams just losing everyone they have. Stun does go out on to the Diva, leading to her kill. The potion almost hitting the Hanzo. I don't think it would have been enough to kill him, but it easily could have been. However, the Mephisto, on the other hand, enough damage does go out on him to secure that kill. Now, with level 20 advantage, but 4 down, that's not going to be enough. The enemy team could easily get 20 for this objective, if not a keep as well, leading to an even fight for the bottom objective. They just need a little bit more experience, and they will secure an even fight. This keep doesn't give instant experience anymore, but I think the passive XP as well as the extra the extra passive as well as the minions that they managed to pick up on that push, they're going to get 20 before the end of the objective. That's for sure. The question is, do they get 20 now or later? With this camp, that should help them get it sooner. The right team is not yet on the point, meaning that they should have 20 for this point, as long as they don't get picked off here. They're so close to 20, and Ariel does go down. She does have the Resurrect, I think, which will allow her to get back into the fight so that it is a 5v5 for the objective. And there's the Ariel using the Resurrect, as previously stated. I'm curious if she goes for the 20 upgrade. I'm personally a fan of the 20 upgrade, especially with a Genji and or a Greymane. But no, she goes Shield of Hope, trying to keep everybody alive during these bursty teamfights. And yet another invade 5v5 goes out onto the enemy camp. The D.Va does come in. She doesn't have self-destruct this time, but she drops very quickly. Heal Denial does go out. Stun on only Dahaka. Very short stun too. Sleep goes out as well, hitting almost the entire enemy team, but most of them are woken up almost immediately. D.Va almost escapes with the help of the shield. Root does try and go out to help the disengage, but Mech D.Va, Baby D.Va, and Mephisto all go down, and the Indestructible is popped, leading to an not an objective victory, but a fight victory for the enemy team, and it does look like they're going to try and proxy this wave at least a little bit, also securing a stun on the Deckard Cain. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the green army skins are banned. I'm assuming that this was talked about in draft, but I don't know. Figured it's worth mentioning in case there's any mods watching this that want to answer that. Now, Dahaka will be staying on this point while his friendly team pushes on to this front wall. This could easily be a 2-0 victory for the Hunger Avoidance team. Especially if this fort goes down uncontested, which it looks like it will, as I am losing all the names. Johanna attempts to relieve some pressure mid. But it does look like the Hunger Avoidance team does full disengage from this point with 91%. I'm curious of the reasoning for this. XP doesn't mean a whole lot at this stage of the game. I guess they just want the top pressure on the core in case the fight goes long? I'm not sure, but if they can grab the D.Va here, which if it wasn't for the boosters they'd be able to do, that would have helped them a lot. They do secure yet another item, though, for this team fight. Meaning, yeah, they have item advantage. They have a turret and a bio emitter. Dahaka does walk in. He does have his burrow to try and survive some of the burst. So we'll see that the enemy does have able to go out. The stun does land. Huge amounts of damage coming out from the Mimic. Sleep does go out from the Deckard. Genji not caring in the slightest about that. Self-destruct on the conveyors does make it very difficult to avoid, and lots of damage onto the Ariel, who does manage to survive. And we do see the ultimate coming out from the Mephisto, but not leading to a kill as the Protector is picked up for the left team, as well as this camp pushing on core.
Blue team has taken control of a Protector.
I would have kept the Greymane out.
Blue team has destroyed the fort.
Greymane has huge amounts of siege. I guess they wanted Genji for the kill pressure, as opposed to Greymane for the siege. But, I don't know. Does look like the pressure was alleviated by the enemy team. And the Protector is ignoring that front turret, instead favoring a focus on the fort, keep rather. But they do decide to back out. This Protector is about 50% health with a full minute left on its duration. Now, that Mimic is shredding the enemy team. Stun does go out, leading to a double kill on the Ana and the Genji. The Haka trying to survive using the isolation to prevent the Johanna from locking him down. But it's not going to be enough, as he takes a huge amount of damage. And the self-destruct does go out. Ariel and Greymane attempt to flee with the mech. Oh, rather, getting out of the mech. Sleep does go out. This should be a double kill with very little contest. And Ariel does get a massive stun, leading to a massive heal, and she might actually be able to get out of this. Greymane does get rezzed, but is unable to get out of this terrible situation. Interesting waste of objective. I was kind of curious about it too. They were taking a lot of unneeded damage on the objective. And it didn't look like they were prioritizing kills or anything. It looked like they were trying to push past to core and then decided against it. I guess they just had some, like, anti-synergy of their team communication. But hey, what you gonna do? It happens to the best of us. Lots of damage from that Mephisto. That Mimic is just terrifying. I'm curious why he went Consume Souls, though. That root can be devastating, especially to a team like this, which doesn't have a lot of mobility and has a lot of easy targets for the root. Now, speaking of... I forget what I was going to say. Nano does go out onto the Genji, leading to a massive, massive amounts of damage with the Dragon Blade. The defense matrix is not able to deal with someone this mobile, and the mech will go down. Baby Diva does use the torpedo dash to try and get out. I'm assuming she took that, yep. But is unable to. This could be game with 40 seconds to push on core. And Greymane, who's joining the party in just a moment.
Red team's core is under attack.
I feel like there's a history there. I'm kind of curious about it. Well, with 20 seconds, this core will be falling very quickly. Johanna should have the Indestructible back up at this point in time, but it's not going to help as no one is focusing her. Instead, all the damage goes out onto the core, leading to a 2-0 victory for the World Hunger Avoidance team.